Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sumukascha Ekadantascha Kapilo Gajakarnakaha Lambodharascha Vikato Vignarajo Vinayakaha Dhumaketurganadhyakshaha Palachandro Gajananaha Vakratundaha Surpakarno Herambaha Skandapurvajaha Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopasantaye Yasyat Viradavattradhya Parishadhya Parasatam Vignam Nignanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tamasraye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So with Swami's grace, let us continue from where we left off yesterday. We came up to slokam number 4, sutra number 4. Number 1, again, just quickly reviewing. Atato bhaktim vyakyasyamaha sa tvasmin parama prema rupa amritasva rupa cha. Number 4. Yal labdva puman siddho bhavati amruto bhavati tripto bhavati. Again, yal labdva puman siddho bhavati amruto bhavati tripto bhavati. The words are yat labdva puman siddha bhavati amrutah bhavati triptah bhavati. Labdva. Labdva means more than just attaining, gaining. Once I become a bhakta, once I start embracing Bhagavan with love, automatically certain things take place. I gain certain things. I don't have to attain them. And they come to me, they attain me, so to speak. So, yat labdva puman. Puman means anybody, any person, human being. That's all it is. There's no qualifications, pre-qualifications, post-qualifications, nothing. Rich, poor, young, old, healthy, sick. It really doesn't matter. Gender or which varnashramam belong to. None of those things are matter. Just puman, any human being. It's beautiful. It's siddho bhavati, siddhaha. Siddho bhavati, amruto bhavati, tripto bhavati. Now, siddhaha means fulfillment. Normally, we think there are Ashtama Siddhiyal, as they say, as we progress internally in touching Bhagavan. Yes, we do get extraordinary, superhuman kind of powers do come to us. For example, we could reduce our size, become very small like the way Hanuman did, or become very big, or walking through walls, whatever the different sense of awareness, our sense of awareness and consciousness really expands. Right now it is very limited. So the limitations are slowly being removed. Automatically you acquire, from a worldly point of view, there are certain powers. We call them sometimes siddhic powers. But that's not what Bhagavan is talking about. That's not what Narada is talking about here. No. This siddhi that he is talking about is what is given by Bhagavan himself in Akshara Brahma Yoga in Bhagavad Gita, as an example. In slokam number 15 there, he says, and for 14 and 15 when it joined together, just going through the, let me read the thing very briefly in Sanskritam, give you the meaning in English. Okay. Ananya chetaha satatam yo mam smarati nityashaha tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginaha mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam asasvatam na apnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gataha. Samsiddhim paramam gataha. So, what does Bhagavan say? Now saying that in English, so we understand what type of siddhi that we are really talking of here. Nothing to do with worldly attainments and all that. No. This is something extraordinary, out of this world. And he says, my dear Partha, I am very easily attained by those sustained and disciplined practitioners who think of me with no other thought, continuously and at all times. That's what bhakti is all about. Manmana bhave. And those people who have attained this supreme state, they attain fulfillment of their spiritual discipline. As a result of that, attain paramam gatim, the most supreme state they attain. That's the siddhi that Narada is mentioning here. So, siddho bhavati, amrutaha bhavati. Now, again, we saw this in the previous sutram. If devotion to Bhagavan, if love for God, love to God, that's what we are talking of. And the moment I start embracing that love, what happens naturally? That yat bhavam tad bhavati. If I embrace selfishness, I become selfish and it is not sweet. But if I embrace love and prema and embrace selflessness, automatically the sweetness I taste. And what happens to that sweetness? That is immortal. That is amritam. And the more I do it, the more immortal I become. That is immortality. It's a bhavam. It's an experience and awareness. And so, amruto bhavati, trupto bhavati, trupto bhavati. What type of a trupti means? A fulfillment. There is no more desire. When in this world, we desire so many things. And when we achieve it, you want to buy a Mercedes Benz, you go and buy it, you do all the research and all, do that, go to the showroom and look at this and then finally buy it. The excitement of all the process, the prior to, is really great. And then you obtain it and okay, you may be happy and the satisfaction may be there a little bit. After that it wanes away. It really doesn't matter. Right? You don't pay attention. That very short-lived, temporary tripti that is born out of a fulfillment of a worldly desire. But what type of a tripti Narada is talking about here? This is a tripti where even desires do not arise. Contentment, peace, very like a placid water that doesn't get disturbed at all, or we're all disturbed because of our desires. And suppose there is no desire, what is the stage? That tripti. And that is what Narada is talking about here. Nothing to do with the world. So, the moment I start loving Bhagavan, these things automatically take place. I don't have to go get them. I don't have to seek them. They're all natural result of what is happening to me internally. My mind becomes calm, does not desire anything. Therefore, it is highly contented. And where there is contentment, there is peace and bliss. In fact, this labdva, yet labdva, this labhyam, we say, labhyam in Sanskrit means what is the profit, what is the benefit, what is the prayojanam. There are beautiful words in Sanskrit that we use colloquially also. Sometimes we say prayatnam and prayojanam, right? If you take those two words, prayatnam we know means effort that we undertake, like we use that term quite often. So when you undertake an effort, whatever effort it may be, even listening to this right now, participating in this, going and working, or whatever we all do from morning to night and night to morning, all the efforts we're continuously doing, what is the prayojanam of all those? What is the benefit at the end? Really, when you look at it, there is really nothing. Because what we go after, we attain it, and then that goes away, temporary only, right? So there is really no benefit. But here, the prayojanam, the gain, the benefit, the labhyam part of it, from bhakti itself, is all this automatically takes place and comes there to stay forever. So much so, none other than Adi Shankara, and it's such a beautiful prayer he gives to Bhagavan. He says, Swami, let me be born as a man or God, an animal or a tree, or a gnat or a worm or a bird. If my heart is immersed in the love of your divine lotus feet, what do I care what kind of body I have? What a beautiful prayer. In Bhaja Govindam also we are learning, Sathya Brahmati Ramate Chittam Nandati Eva. Right? We have heard that, right? Yoga Ratova, Bhoga Ratova. Doesn't matter whether you enjoy or whether you give up enjoyment. Sangha Ratova, Sangha Vihinaha. Whether you're looking for company, some of us are, extroverts, we need companies, right? The company of other people. Some of us are happy by ourselves. Doesn't matter. Sangha Vihinaha. Whatever we do, Tasya, there, Brahmani Ramate, thinking of Bhagavan, Chittam, thinking of Brahmani Ramate, when you think of him, Ramate, we think of him lovingly, the result is Nandati Eva. That's what Adi Shankara says here. What difference does it make what body I have? Am I going to be born as a dog or a tree or a blade of grass or an earthworm or a human being or even a deva? It doesn't really matter to me what body I have, so long as my heart is immersed in your divine lotus feet. That's what he says. And Naratvam, Devatvam, Nagavana Bhrigatvam, Masatta Pasutvam, Kidatvam Bhavatu, Vigakatvati Jananam, Sada tu Padabja Smarana Paramananda Lahari Vihara Saktam Chesha Hrudayam Iha Kim Tena Vapucha is what he is saying. Just so that you hear the Sanskrit part of it, I said it. So, Yal Labdva Puman, available to anybody and everybody who thinks of Bhagavan. Nothing more. Nothing more. And even in Mukunda Malai, Kulasekara Alvar, we shared that. And he says, those who have surrendered to me and do not really care for anything else, because they accept myself. And they do not even seek the status of Brahma or Indra or even want to be a king or want to be a superhuman being. No. They're not looking for psychic powers, the siddhic powers that come. No, none of those. They're not even asking for mukti. When Lord Narasimha asked Prahlada, cannot tell me what you want. How beautifully he answers that. Why do you put me in this Maya, Swami, is what he says. I don't want anything. I don't know. Why do you think I need to want something? I'm happy, very happy, just at your lotus feet. And people who seek that, Bhagavan's lotus feet, really don't ask for, don't desire for anything at all. This is the beauty. And Bhagavan says, the Avatara Purushan who came and went beautifully. And why does Bhagavan grant us all the things we ask for all the time? Right? Sometime today, sometime in next birth, whatever we ask, he gives. He says, I give you all that you ask for, because one day you will ask what I have come to give. Is what Avatar Purushan says. And what has he come to give? is the lotus feet. The mind should be turned towards Him. That's all the gift from Him. And so even the Bhakta does not desire even freedom from birth or death. That you take care of. It's so beautiful, like a dry leaf that is being blown by the wind. How does the leaf feel? Have you ever thought of it? We don't even pay attention to it, right? But that is also Sajivam. That is also Bhagavan. The same life force that is within you and me is in that dry leaf also. And we should be like that. Whatever you want to do with me, you do it. And like we talked about this, right? The faith of a kitten, how it leaves it to the mother. Whatever you do with me, do it. That attitude is what is that. With that attitude, all these other things automatically come in. The Siddho Bhavati, Amruto Bhavati, and all these things, Tripto Bhavati, they automatically come. The natural result of that. And so, Yal Labdva Puman Siddho Bhavati, Amruto Bhavati, Tripto Bhavati. Now, next sutram, number 5. Yat Prapya Na Kinchit Vanchati, Na Sochati, Na Dveshti, Na Ramate, Na Utsahi Bhavati. Yat Prapya Na Kinchit Vanchati, Na Sochati, Na Dveshti, Na Ramate, Na Utsahi Bhavati. So the padangal are Yat Prapya Na Kinchit Vanchati, Na Sochati, Na Dveshti, Na Ramate, Na Utsahi Bhavati. And the meaning by words are, and then we'll go through what the elders have said and what Bhagavan himself says in Bhagavad Gita so clearly. Yat, which Prapya attained. Now, the Prapya and Labhyate, those in English we say attained or obtained. No, actually there's a very important subtle difference in meaning. Labhyam, as I mentioned to you, is something that comes to you as a gain, as a result of doing something else. A Prapya is something that you take effort to achieve. Right? That's the difference. Either way, you've got it. So when you attain this bhakti, when you taste this bhakti, simply speaking, forget all the scholarship and the and voluminous expositions and explanations. Just push them all aside out of the table, and just think. If I just think of Bhagavan with love, that's all it's talking about. The same love that I have towards my child, towards myself, towards my husband, towards my wife, towards my possessions, towards my house, towards my car, towards my work, towards the money I have in the bank. How much attachment we have to all this. Suppose, let's not even worry about these attachments. Let them be there. They will take care of themselves. You just attach yourself to Bhagavan and love Him, at least a little bit of the attachment that you have to the other things, and then see what happens. But sincerely, that's all we're talking of. Yet Prapya. The moment I do that, what do I attain? It's a beautiful divine journey that Bhagavan himself will guide you. The moment, once you say yes to me, you are mine forever. That's the assurance from Bhagavan. And another thing he says, you don't have to deserve me, he says. How can I qualify myself to come to deserve you? No way. He says, you don't have to deserve me. Just yearn for me. Yearn for me. That's all he says. So look to me. That's a simple thing we can do, right? And if I do that, yet prapya, not kinchiti, even the little bit amount, vanchati, desire, na sochati, I don't grieve, I don't become sad, na dveshti, I don't hate anything or anybody, na ramate, I don't unnecessarily get very happy, na utsahi bhavati, utsaham we translated to mean enthusiasm. Right? That's one way we normally understand in English. Utsaham. Utsaham means it's actually more than enthusiasm. It is the effort that we take. What is it that compels us to take an effort? Right? That is utsaham. So that it is not there for him. Is what the straight meaning is. Now here, let us understand this a little bit more. What do you mean, na vanchati, Swami? Suppose I start loving you, then I give up all my desires. What happens? See, Bhagavan says, this is all over Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads, and everywhere it's the same message that is coming. Bhagavan says, for example, in Bhakti Yoga, in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, if you look at slokam number 17, and what does he say? He says, Yo na hrishyati, na dveshti, na sochati, na kankshati, subha parityagi bhaktiman yaha sa me priyaha. Sa me priyaha. That's what he says. He is very dear to me. That's what who it says. He is neither happy nor sad. He does not hate and he does not desire, and he performs all actions as sacrifice, and is free from the beneficial or harmful effects. He is my devotee. That's what Bhagavan says. The same thing, the one thing to read it and hear it, other thing is to experience it. The one moment you love Bhagavan, automatically what happens? You are neither sad nor happy because you begin to really experience. See means not just with your eyes, but really experience that things happen according to Bhagavan's grace. Prasada buddhi comes in. Moment that comes in, you are automatically contented. You know that what happens is temporary. Okay? You may achieve something that is only short-lived. And you may fail in something that also is short-lived. It's beautiful. You have got an entirely different perspective. A paradigm shift takes place in your mind. The moment that shift takes place in your mind, because mind is the one that gives you happiness or sorrow, not the external objects. And then you begin to see the divine hand. Where is the source of temporary happiness and this temporary sadness and all that? And not only that, nadveshti, very important. See, dvesham and asuyam. Anasuya is a beautiful name that Bhagavan addresses to Arjuna, right? Without jealousy. Now, jealousy is different. Okay? Now, dvesham means hatred. And hatred is the opposite of liking, right? And why do you hate something or somebody? If you think about it, and Adi Shankara also explains this beautifully, and you can experience this personally also. This is the best way to learn, is always to practice and learn it personally. Then it becomes very clear, crystal clear. You desire something, and when the fulfillment of that desire gets obstructed by somebody or some object or some happening, or somebody plays a game against you, or something happens that is against your benefit. In fact, it causes some damage to you. Okay, that's how dvesham, the hatred, begins. For this person who keeps the company of Bhagavan, these things don't even exist. This is the beauty. Because he sees everything as Bhagavan's prasadam. And he says, and this is where then you have to remind yourself, what we learn from Mukunda Malai, from Kulasekara Alvar and all, whatever happened is Purva Karmanurupam. Whatever I did before, right? And that is what, the result is what I'm experiencing today. And this beauty comes in. This mindset, this paradigm shift comes in. So when that happens, where is the room for dvesham and where is the room for ramate? it is this is the doorway to such experience happens the moment I start keeping the company of Bhagavan. So beautiful it is. And with na vanchati, does not desire. Now, the greatest devotees, even Sukamuniva himself, or Mirabai, or Gopis, all those people, they all desired something. It's not like they did not desire at all. So what does it na vanchati mean? They, on Prahlada, what is when Swami asks him what do you want? He says, I don't want anything, Swami, but the only thing I want is the welfare for everybody. And that kind of, we say, samasta lokaha sukhino bhavantu, that sincere feeling and experience for that kind of a higher desire, if you were to call it, they will have, because they really have nothing else. In fact, it seems that once Ramakrishna asked Vivekananda, and Vivekananda told him, Swami, I'm very happy when I'm in the company of Bhagavan and Devi, and the ecstasy, the bliss is indescribable. And Ramakrishna told him, listen, that's all fine, but you should also not just be looking after your own salvation. And that's what Prahlada did. Prahlada said to Bhagavan, Swami, there are lots of rishis doing tapas and they all looking for their salvation. I am not like that. I want the welfare for the whole Jagat. For every being in the Jagat, I want to be well taken care of. That is what he was talking. So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was giving the same teaching. He said, no, you should also pray for the welfare of the worldly prosperity. And Swami Vivekananda attempted to do this several times, but he could not succeed asking that. So, and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa asked him, have you done it? He said, Swami, I'm sorry, I'm not able to do it. He says, why not? He says, the moment the Divine Mother comes into my mind, the moment I think of her, I immediately lose all the desires for worldly prosperity. So, I cannot ask her that. I completely lost the desire for worldly prosperity. That was his answer to Ramakrishna. These are the kind of things that happen when I start loving Bhagavan, that bhakti. Okay? We all know that all the pleasures we have in this world are temporary. They always cause more misery. Right? Now, na dveshti. One quick example on that, and then before we conclude for today, we talked about hatred, talked about desire, things not happening. These are all intellectual way of doing it. Then we have to look at where does the desire come from. That we'll spend maybe a little bit of time in the next session. But look at it this way. Suppose by chance, if you bite your own tongue with your teeth, who will you get angry at? Have you ever thought of it? Suppose by chance, one of your limbs, your own hand for example, by mistake, you're taking something from the shelf or whatever happens, and your own limb, hits another part of your body and causes pain. Who will you get angry at? Dvesham is exactly like that. Everything is part and parcel of the same universal body. We are all one and the same. No difference. So who can I get hatred towards? Who can I get angry at? This is what Bhajagovindam also we are learning. We have not come to that slokam yet, right? Svai mayi chanyatraiko Vishnu. That slokam so everything is Bhagavan. That what happened. That thought comes to you and stays there, and you're reminded of that repeatedly the moment I start keeping the company of Bhagavan. I start loving Bhagavan. The moment I start doing that, the same way I love so many things in life, all I have to sincerely love Bhagavan. then all these things start taking place by themselves. Then we will continue tomorrow, na ramate, na utsahi bhavati, and all a little bit more detail. Yat prapya na kinchit vanchati, na sochati, na dveshti, na ramate, na utsahi bhavati. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samasta lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.